Okay, so Aaron Warner down here at the Epic Garage, and I'm talking to two of my new favorite clients. Why don't you introduce yourself?
My name's Meghan O'Connell.
I'm
And
Nancie O'Connell.
you bear a remarkable resemblance to each other. Is there a relationship here?
Best friends.
We're a mother-daughter team.
Okay. So if you don't mind, as most women don't want to share this information, but share what you will. What is your age? Where are you from? And what do you do? Can we start with you?
I speak a little bit.
You're 25.
I'm 25.
And where are you from?
I'm from Enfield, New Hampshire, and I'm an art teacher.
And I'm 56, also from Enfield, and I'm a fourth grade teacher.
All right. So teaching. You guys both got into teaching. Just out of curiosity, why did you decide to get into teaching?
But when I was little, I wanted to be just like Mom, and then she went to college and it scared me. So then I decided I was never going to school, and I was just going to be a stay-at-home mom for the rest of my life. And then as I got older, I realized I loved children and wanted to help them.
All right, good answer. How about you?
Because of Meghan. I wanted to be a teacher always, but then I had Meghan, and she had some learning disabilities, and working with her taught me that there are a lot of kids who aren't taught correctly. So I
Right.
wanted to work with all children and help them learn how they learn, so they could all be lifelong learners.
And how are you doing with that? Now you do that down in Claremont.
Yes. Yes.
So are you? Is this actually what's going on for you? Like you're helping
Yeah.
kids learn how they learn, and
Right. I teach them about neurodevelopmental learning, which means learning how your brain learns. So I start getting to know them first, and then we get to know. I give them like a little survey that's fun to see how do you work best, how do you not work best. Like just sitting at a desk by yourself, is that how you work best, or just lying on the floor, or just being in a group, or just listening to music?
so it's not like categories. Like you just observe like how the child
and
learns.
and I help them understand what they need to learn so they can self-advocate in the future. So when
Are you familiar with the term autodidact?
Mhm.
Okay. Is that the goal? Is to make everybody an autodidact, like that they can teach themselves well?
That's the point, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Very cool. All right. So, as much as I would love to talk about that because I think it's a fascinating subject, I do have a couple of, I guess, guided questions. So, have you done any training in your background or physical fitness stuff, like classes or
Yes.
school or anything? Okay. What has your experience been in doing that?
Well, in high school, well, in all school, I tried every single sport and was very horrible at all of them. And then in
You were horrible at all
I
of
was
them?
benched in every single sport I tried. I've done baseball, t-ball, field hockey, soccer, basketball, benched. Every
Wow.
single one. And then I got to high school and tried volleyball and was benched for a little while and then eventually got to play. We weren't the best team though. And then I realized in college that I was meant to be a swimmer. And so then I joined the swim team and learned how to swim in college. And then
So wait, back up. She didn't know how to swim at all and had always been kind of skittish around water. So she started on swim team learning how to actually swim, which impressed the poop out of
Wow. Yeah.
yes, as a sophomore in
So
college.
that's like a free way to get swim lessons.
Basically, yeah. And then throughout the end of college, I've spent the past 2 years in physical therapy. No, 3 years in physical therapy for my leg. And
For your leg or your hip?
well, it started with my knee because my knee was connected to hip pain because I had gotten a bike accident
Mhm.
that destroyed my knee. And then that kept hurting, and they're like, there's something wrong with your knee. And I learned later that if you have hip problems, sometimes it goes into your knee.
And what did you find out about your hip?
That I have hip dysplasia. And
What
I
does
went-
that mean?
That my hip socket did not cover my leg bone correctly.
Mhm.
And
Which
so,
led to what?
so I had my first hip surgery because I tore my labrum, which is a piece of cartilage that is basically like a bumper, so it like lines your socket and helps your bone not to rub against each other. So mine was rubbing really badly. So the first surgery I had 2 years ago repaired that and shaved down some of my bone. And then a year later I had my second surgery, which was to cut apart my socket and rotate it so it fit on my leg bone correctly. So now I have 3 screws in my hip.
3 screws in your hip. Well, that is fascinating, but not to be outdone, Mom has
But
a
I'm
little
not
bit.
my story.
Well, just let me take this briefly over here. Now, Mom, you also have some
Yeah, we're a messed up.
hardware.
So I had scoliosis as a kid, and it got exponentially worse in middle age. Apparently I learned when you go through menopause or beginning of menopause and your hormones change, your bones soften, and so my scoliosis went from this to an accordion. So I have a full fusion over 15 years and 7 surgeries from my shoulder blades all the way down to my pelvis. And there's, I don't remember how many nuts and bolts are in there. So it kind of compresses my midsection. It makes for a lot of pain. And so you're teaching me how to reactivate those muscles that have stopped working because my rod is doing all the work, and it's really helping with pain and stability and overall energy.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to draw that commonality. You guys both have some hardware in your bodies, okay? And you got through physical therapy, and then when you got done with physical therapy, why did you decide to start training?
I was kicked out of physical therapy multiple times because the insurance thought I was at a livable pain level. And so that just kept causing more problems. And my surgeon told me that if I didn't keep up with my physical health, I would need a total hip replacement at a young age and have arthritis in my hip.
So it's not a great experience to have a bureaucrat tell you what's going on with your body?
Is this about your gym or about your politics? I'm just asking.
Sorry. I was just throwing that out there.
I didn't have great experiences with physical therapists, and I learned throughout the years that if I'm not on a sports team, I don't train well by myself. And so then my lovely fiance kept telling me about this wonderful person.
What's your lovely fiance's name?
Tanner Smith.
Oh.
Yeah, he kept
Shout
telling me
out
about
to
this
Tanner.
great person that I should train with, and he actually dragged me here while I was on crutches and made me watch him work out.
I remember that day.
Yeah, that was super fun. And then, so he finally convinced me to come meet you, and then I've been here since.
How long has that been?
A year or so.
No, it's been like 6 months.
Been
There was
6
a couple
months?
breaks in the middle because of financial issues with myself and job hunting, but
And how's it doing now?
now it is much better. A year ago, I could not sit in this position or sit at all for more than like 5 minutes without laying flat.
What do you think about some of the system of training that we use with the foam rolling and the correction? And
I've
all
always
that stuff?
enjoyed foam rolling. We'll do it next time. It's never really fun. But the correction really helped, and it like kind of tied into what I was doing with physical therapy. But they only they like start you and then just cut you off, and you like started me, but then like developed my thing.
Right, go through all the progressions and just keep going. Yep. All right, well, not to be outdone, your experience with exercise has been what, Nancy?
I've exercised off and on over the years on my own in a gym, but just by myself in a gym. And then when the surgery started, there was physical therapy. And I came to find out not a lot of physical therapists know how to deal with spinal fusions, especially total spinal fusions, because I don't bend. I bend from where my legs meet my body, and that's it. So I would go, and the first thing they say is, oh, your core has to be strengthened. You should do sit-ups. I can't do sit-ups. And after the umpteenth person said that, I just gave up and stopped going. So Tanner and Meghan brought you and your lovely wife Christina to dinner one night, and I just kept feeling like, they kept telling me I should come here, and I kept thinking, I'm not going to go to one more person, because I'm going to punch him in the face if he says do a sit-up. I'm like, I'm done. So I said, all right, Aaron, what would you do for me? And you never said push, you never said sit up. You said that would be the dumbest thing ever, and I was sold. I'm like,
That's
all right.
part of our secret plan.
Well, so I gave you a shot, and 4 months later now, I'm feeling better and stronger. I have definition. Clothes are fitting better.
Yeah.
Hurting less. It's amazing.
And
Arms are strong?
had you gotten into the foam rolling before we met? Or?
No, I'd never heard of it. I mean, I'd seen Meghan do it from sports and stuff, but I was like, that's dumb. I'm not doing that. It'll hurt. Because getting on the floor to do anything hurts.
Right. So yeah, and it was a very challenging process
It
for
was
both
hard.
of us because there's a lot going on for people that don't understand the kinetic chain and how these joints all affect each other and what rods in the spine do and how it changes the way the hips move and the shoulders move. It's hard, challenging for both of us on both ends. But just keeping it simple, there was one thing that was kind of our measuring stick for how things were going, and that was you walking out to your mailbox.
So whopping 1/10 of a mile down the driveway, but it hurts so much to walk consistently for any distance that I would have to stop 2 or 3 times or be in tears by the time I got home because my driveway's got a hill at the very end of it. And I now can go back and forth.
We both can.
Yeah.
Pain-free.
Pain-free.
Yeah, that's
Still
awesome.
working on distances longer than that, but it's getting better.
We walked, how
Right.
long is the beach from Nemo's house?
At least a mile, but I had to stop stop like 6 times.
No, that by the end of the weekend, you only stop once.
No, that's true. That's true. So it's an ongoing thing. I know I'm going to have to keep working at it, and I'm not a patient person, and you keep reminding me I have to be patient because I want to be fixed. So.
Sure.
You remember how often I came home from errands and you said you were never going there because I always came home and came with ice cream on my legs? Like the first 3 months, I'd come home with just.
This is all going to get edited out, by the way. None of that's going to stay in the video.
But to get better,
You have to have pain.
to get better, sometimes you have to hurt to fix what's
Right.
not working. So
Well,
I'm
we both
working.
came from surgeries too, so
Right.
that's
And
really
pain is a necessary feedback loop, right? Like we're not trying to put you in pain, but sometimes the pain helps us figure out where some of the problems are, because the
You're trying.
ultimate goal is to get you out of
Right.
pain.
But I'm
right?
also working muscles that I haven't worked in 15 years. So getting
Yeah.
them strong again, you have to work it up, and so you have to hurt a little. You have to be a little. It's good pain. It's not bad pain.
So for somebody who's having hip issues, or for somebody who's having back pain, chronic back pain issues, you feel like this is the kind of thing that they should hear?
Mm-hmm.
That there is hope out there, and you know there are people that can help you, might know what you're doing,
You
and
don't
even if
need
other
hardware.
Yeah.
some people don't. Hey, so you did mention your fiance Tanner earlier. There's one other reason why we're training here, and that is what? Can we share that information?
I'm not sure where you're going with this.
You have a fiance.
You get married.
I'm not training for my wedding. It just ended up coincidentally being in the same time zone.
I was trying to fit into my dress that I bought for the wedding.
Yeah,
Just
come
putting it
on.
out
Let's
there.
let's be honest.
wanna have
You're
good
not training
observation.
it all for your big wedding day.
No.
This was all about your hip.
Yeah, and my personal health.
Really?
Yes.
Why have we been talking about the wedding all this
Because
time?
you
You
keep
fix
bringing
on
that
it.
up.
Oh my gosh.
It's your way of motivating me.
Right. Yeah, your wedding hasn't been important to you at all. I'm
No, my
sure.
wedding's important to me,
But that's not why she's here.
but that's not what I've always wanted. I've always liked how I feel better when I'm working out.
Okay.
So if I wasn't getting married, I would still be coming here every day.
Well, it sounds like it's time for us to just all go get ice cream then,
Yes.
and not worry about the dress.
Woohoo!
Okay.
Hey, I haven't been dieting at all. The only reason I haven't eaten ice cream in 3 days is because we don't have any.
You haven't been dieting at all, and you can almost see your six pack.
That's how
Wow.
the body works. It's
Tanner made a joke the other day that I'll never, because I was saying I don't want to be like super jacked if you're using the barbell thing. He's like, you won't be jacked with your eating habits. So now I have to prove him wrong and continue my eating habits and still be jacked.
You might have those genetics. It's rare. It is rare.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
She had a
I'm sure it is.
six-pack when she was a toddler. She would whip herself up on the monkey bars and laugh at everyone and not realize why we were all grimacing at her.
Yeah.
It's just
Wow.
wrong.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your good news, and good luck on your big day. That's
I
well,
mean,
it's kind of a big day.
it's a plus. It's definitely the icing on the cake.
No pun intended. All right, we'll leave that there. Thank you.